And I don't know what kind of delay we got, but okay. Okay, we ready? Okay. Well, I got two power hitters with me. Up there to my left, Craig Hodges, former NBA champion with Chicago Bulls. Straight away, Bryant Moore. Got a good look at you. Today was Juneteenth celebration. Craig, just speak to that point right there, Juneteenth. How much do you remember about it? Have you always known about it growing up? When was the first time you became familiar with Juneteenth celebration?
I was probably, first of all, I want to thank God for giving us a chance to meet, during this crazy and chaotic period of time, man, especially for our people as we sit on the doorstep of deliverance, man, and getting ready to get this divine inheritance. It's time for us to, to be wise in our movements. And when we look at the whole Juneteenth thing, for me, I learned when I was at Long Beach State as a freshman in college about the whole of it. And, the whole, it's just a continuation, man, of the oppression that has happened in America, and it's part of the fabric of American, society. And right now, like I said, man, with all the stuff going on, especially with my brothers in the NBA, we sit on the precipice of something very big, man. And especially with all of these occurrences happening along this period of time, man, with the coronavirus, having to lock everybody down into a quarantine situation where people had a chance not only to be locked down inside their homes, but they had to take an inward look. And I think that inward look has brought a certain level of consciousness worldwide to the suffering and oppression of African people worldwide. So that's why we see the impact of Black Lives Matter, and you're seeing protests in 18 different countries. And for the first time in the history of our existence, since our oppression started in 1555, this is the first time that we've had true chance at freedom, man. And I think, we're right at the precipice of it. It's just a matter of how we handle the next, I would say, even 6 to 12 months.
You say how we handle it or how the country handles it?
We, the country, when we say the country, I give very little credence to governments. I give credence to people. I give, it's people power right now. And if we can look across the country, we can look across the world and see that it's a different landscape. And the landscape is one that's unknown because we've never had freedom, justice, liberty, or equality in our lifetimes and our ancestral lifetimes over the last 450 some odd years. We don't know what's that like. So what the mission truly is that the spiritual intellect of our woman is the organizational unit, and we are the builders. So we have to go back to that mindset that we had in the origin of our building civilization, and we have to do it again right here as the dismantling of white supremacy racism is unfolding before our very eyes.
Okay. Brian, did you go somewhere? I guess he dropped off. Did you do anything for Juneteenth today at all yourself?
Well, brother, I've been doing these interviews, man, and just organizing. I had a chance to go to Juneteenth celebration in Chicago Heights, where I grew up, and just really soak up the environment, not so much get on stage, not so much to be, but just get the energy of it and see the energy of our young people and their creativeness, and knowing that it's a certain feeling that our young people have that they're free to express who they are with pride, similar to the way we did when we heard, James Brown say it loud, "I'm Black and I'm proud," in that same environment. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to see and to witness that, our people are moving in such a way that now it's not only about police brutality, but it's about us building something that's going to be long lasting for the next generation of people.
Okay. Brian, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got kicked out for a second.
Yeah, I saw that. When did you first hear about Juneteenth celebration, Brian?
Probably in college when I had a Black Studies minor, and that was really the first time that I really took home to Black history in general. Had a lot of Black history teachers, and really bringing home that point. I think what stood out to me was really understanding that for almost 2 years, you had people on plantation that didn't even know they were free. And a lot of times in school, they kind of teach it as though 1865 happened, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and everybody, walked off the slave plantation. And so I just had a few history professors really had to explain to me that not only that you had plantations that weren't free right away, but you had a bunch of other stuff in the middle, like sharecropping that went on for 50, 60, almost 100 plus years.
Yes, sir. And while we on that point, one of the things I think that as we look at this police brutality, that if we look at the initial entree of what the police force was in America, is based on slave catchers, and that the first special forces unit was the Tubman unit that went after Harriet Tubman. So when we look at the nature of the beast, the nature of the way police is enforced and uses this force in America, especially on Black people, it's not ironic to me when you look at the nature of things. Oftentimes, we don't want to look at the nature of things. We want to look at it as though it's in a vacuum of time, and that the origins and foundations of America is something that really need to look at it and be looked at under a microscope so that this next generation has a firm footing of who they are.
Okay, now when you talk about the next generation, I got this young brother to my left. I don't know what it is, what you guys see, but Jalen Ponder. Start running your own business at age 13, was it?
Yep, I got my LLC at 15.
Just talk to the brothers a little bit. That's Craig Hodges there. We got Brian Moore over there, Nelson Mentor in the middle, if you can see that, and then yours truly here. Talk about you as a young person, because I have big ideas or big visions of what I think you can be like as you move forward.
Yeah, so my background on me is I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan.
Jalen Ponder, do you know him?
Okay, who is that? Somebody, is that Doc? Doc's not in here. Go ahead, Jalen, whoever that was.
Yeah, I'm feeling popular now.
Well, you ran out of Craig Hodges, so now you famous now.
Right.
You the man.
Right. But yeah, so I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. My parents moved me up here to Rockford when I was about 7. I lived off and on in Michigan every summer with my aunt. And when I was living with my aunt, she was taking care of me. With my aunts, and they were taking care of me and my brother. And I really wanted to be able to give back to them. They're having a hard time financially. And as a young brother, there's a couple different ways to make money, but I was underage at the time, and there was only one real way to make big money if you wanted to make it. And that would really, I saw it as hurting the family in the long run. So I was figuring out what can I do in order to make money in a sustainable way. So I started talking to a food truck owner down the street, and he was telling me that he was paying some guy out in California $500 or $600 a month to run social media. And to me, I was like, that's practically rich. Like, to my 13-year-old self, like $500 or $600 would go a long way. And so I started figuring out how I could do social media marketing for food trucks. I started booking them at different places around the community management's Facebook page. And then started gaining traction. Once I moved back up here to Rockford, I started working with food trucks around here. And I just kept booking and booking people. And then in high school, I went to the National Entrepreneurship Competition in Chicago for Incubator EDU. And I got first place in that. And I got the first place in revenue made for high school entrepreneurship that year.
Was that a national high school competition?
Yeah.
And you took first place in that?
Yeah, I got first place in revenue, and then there were 3 criteria, but I got the least amount of money because I had the most amount of money to bootstrap myself. And that's a completely different story, and it goes to depth. But I continue growing my business, and now I'm in a adult accelerator program called G Beta in Beloit.
Oh, I know those guys up in Beloit. But I got my guy, Dr. Jackson, just came in. How you doing, brother? Okay, we can't hear you. We got something.
Oh, you're on mute.
Are you on mute, Doc?
Oh, hey, Kenny.
Hey.
Long time no see.
Yes, it has been.
All right. I got Kenny Burns here now, right below you, Doc. Can you hear? Doc?
Yeah, he has his mic muted.
They say
Yeah,
your mic is muted, Doc, some kind of way.
On your screen, if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner, there should be a microphone. You click it. There you go.
Am I there now?
Okay, there you are.
Okay.
I had to bring in Dr. Jackson. I've been telling my good friend Dr. Jackson about Craig Hodges, and I really, at some point, I want you guys to get to know each other.
We already do, Tommy.
Oh, y'all do?
They already asked about
listen,
you.
No, Tommy, listen to me.
Go ahead.
Based on what you told me about this brother,
You already
based
know it.
on what I've read and seen about this brother, and how
Jocko ain't here.
we've already connected.
Earlier he said, no. Somebody said, is that Jocko? He said, no, Jocko ain't here.
Okay, well that's good, Doc. Okay, I got my brother.
Kenny Burns, Doc, does Doc have that much gray?
Nelson Minter from St. Louis. How you doing, brother?
Well, hello, my brother. It's good to see you. As you can see, I'm representing your June. I'm representing your Juneteenth.
That's one of my shirts. I'm glad you piped in, Nelson.
That's Burns.
He's right there.
I'm glad you gave me a call. Actually, in St. Louis, today was the first day that Juneteenth became a St. Louis, recognized holiday. So
you say it's the first time?
Yeah, but here we had auctioned in some.
Hold on, hey Jocko, I can hear y'all down there, but I don't see y'all.
We're getting an echo off of your phone, Mr. Burns and Miss Meeks.
Say what? Our phones are too close.
Yeah, we're getting a pretty bad echo. It may just because it's on both phones.
Okay. All right, Kenny, you have to go over there. All right.
Stick to the curb. That's all right.
All right.
I didn't mean to separate y'all.
Well, I knew y'all was hearing the echo. All right. Let's start it again. Go ahead, Nelson. You said St. Louis?
Well, what I was going to say was that, today actually is the first day that it became a city, a citywide holiday to be observed. And I know we behind the times a little bit, but it looked good to see that stuff is getting, moving forward at least. And I might even share with you later. I happen to get on a little 2-second clip because we had a ride for freedom. So the leading radio station, 95.5, we had it must have been 3 or 4 miles of cars, and we decorated it, with the red and black and green and different slogans and everything. And so we drove from one part of town through the neighborhood to another part of town, and we had the cops along the way to block the roads for us, and it was it turned out to be a real nice Juneteenth celebration. And I think they're gonna really try to start making that something they do every year, maybe. I guess, I don't know.
Well, that's good. I'm gonna bring Kenny in. He hasn't been in yet, and then we're gonna go back to Craig, because I know Craig is only gonna be here for an hour. So Kenny, I'd like to welcome you in too. Kenny Burns.
Yes. Hi everybody. How everybody doing?
Good.
Right.
Ken.
Good. Good to see a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, I think you know everybody up there, Kenny.
Oh yes, most of them through you, Tommy.
Well, I say this. A lot of the work I do in Rockford, I couldn't do it without Kenny Burns. I'm telling you the truth. That brother has helped me so much. We did our Juneteenth TV show, and we couldn't get it ready to go for Comcast. and then I took it to Kenny. We was up to 3:30 in the morning, but we got that to Comcast the next morning. Are y'all hearing the echo?
No.
You're not? Okay. All right, Craig, since I got you here as less than almost anybody, what are you doing right now? I mean, I saw The Last Dance. I was so disappointed. I just knew that at some point they was going to interview you or say something about how you knocked down all those threes that I know I saw. How did that feel when everybody that knows how the Bulls won the first two championships, you played a very big part in that?
One thing I want to say, Dr. Jackson, like he said, we brothers from the same cloth, man. When just feeling the brothers' energy from here, like you say, we definitely gonna have to sit down. We have a lot of work to get started on, especially from a brotherhood end. So it's great for the brothers to all be together. And likewise, brotherhood that's the techie. I might need your services, man. So make sure you give me your resume because I'm getting ready to launch a website. So you might be able to help me with that. But for me, with The Last Dance, we just came off All-Star Weekend in Chicago. And I won championships here. I'm born and raised in Chicago Heights, and I was totally not involved in it at all from the standpoint that when we went to the desk to get my credentials or anything, didn't have credentials, didn't have tickets. So it wasn't shocking to me, but it was eye-opening that the league would actually handle me in that light. But then when I saw the memorabilia piece from Slam Magazine, and on the front cover it had MJ and Slam 2020 All-Star Weekend, and then in the middle it had Chicago's finest basketball players. It had Doc Rivers and most of my colleagues, but I wasn't in it. And then on the backside of it, it had the Unite emblem, something that I came up with in 1989, and it's representing Zion Williamson's new marketing campaign. So when I looked at it, how much of a slap in the face it was when The Last Dance came about, which I knew nothing about until it came up. It didn't shock me that I wasn't a part of it. But then when I found out that they had interviewed 106 people, I said, I went to battle with brotherhood, and we gave, we passed him the ball. We did things that sacrificed our careers from the standpoint of possibly making more money, possibly getting endorsements in order for his marketing to go up a little bit higher. So I wasn't disappointed from my own standpoint, but I was disappointed for Scotty, for Horace especially, because he said Scotty was selfish. He said Horace was the foundational source for the Jordan Rules by Sam Smith. And the initial part where he threw brothers under the bus with the cocaine circus and all of that, I felt like it was one of those things where at this point in time, where our people are dying at outrageous numbers, that you come up with something that is so divisive that it just lends itself to the same white supremacy, racist things that have happened in the past, and you just buying into it, man, and it's not cool for our people.
Yeah. Well, that had to have been tough because I watched it. I watched every bit of it.
But it was funny. It was actually funny to me, man, because you can do all you want to try to not see me, but you see me all through it.
No, that's what got me.
And that's the funny part for me is like, okay, you want to ostracize me, and I'm like, oh, there I'm right there on the bus for the championship we won. Okay, cool. So you can do whatever you want to. Same thing with All-Star Weekend, where you changed the rules so many times just so you can beat my records and the like, and so you won't have to show me. And now you got a Mountain Dew shot that's 4-point. It ain't even a 4-point shot in the game, but you don't put it in a competition. So much of this is the entertainment of it all, and that's why it's so important for the American culture that Black athletes get back to playing as soon as possible, even though we have the actual pen to bust the verbal white supremacy racism right now.
Okay, Dr. Jackson,
Yes.
I got to come to you because I know how you are as a man, and
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted you to be here when I talk to these good brothers. Everybody up here on this screen, I don't know if anybody's watching or not, but everybody up here on this screen is somebody I really highly respect. Just talk about what you are working on in Chicago right now, and what you think you can do to help uplift our people in the city.
Tommy, there's a lot of work to be done in Chicago. You know, I've only been in Chicago now, 12 years. And in the 12 years, I have observed some of the most bigots, house niggas, sellouts, pimp preachers. Listen, Tommy, it's so cliquish in this city. And when they get a real brother like myself to lend a hand and not look for something to be paid back and not asking for no favor, man, it shocks the hell out of these people in this city, man. When I offer of myself, because what I tell these preachers and I tell these folks at LA Fitness and everywhere I go, you know, you are blessed so that you can bless others. It ain't that I don't want to know about your car, your house, where you graduated, what fraternity you with. That shit don't bother me. What bothers me, the key thing I want to know is, who have you served? What life have you made better? What have you done for your brothers, your sister, unconditionally? You see, the biggest story I can tell you, I always go in the wintertime. I'm a Midwesterner guy, so I go in the winter, I keep a shovel in my car. Because in Chicago, they don't clean those streets, okay? Especially not on the south side and the west side, okay? So I stopped, this brother was getting out with his wife and he was stuck on Ingleside. So I pulls over on my way to the gym and I jumped out with my shovel and I started helping him out. He said, hey, brother, hold it. I ain't got no money to give you. Hey, man, I don't want no money. I said, this is your girlfriend or wife. She needs to go to work. Yeah, that's my wife, man. She needs to go to work. I said, hey, and you know in Chicago, you got one lane. So I had to move my car because I was blocking traffic. I said, look, man, I'm going to go around the corner. I'm back with my shovel. We going to get your wife out of here so she can get to work. Because I'm on my way to the gym. I get his wife out with his help. And he stopped me. He said, man, can I give you something? I said, no, man, I'm on my way to the gym. He said, hey, man, I've been in Chicago 62 years. He said, ain't nothing like this ever happened to me. He said, I can't believe it. Can I get your phone number? The brother was so shocked. And in my time here, Tommy, I've seen so much of that because I offer myself. Because, see, the Creator has already blessed me. My job is to bless others and make others' life better. See, you ain't going to be remembered about that car you drive, the clothes you wear, or the gold you got on. You're going to be remembered by the lives that you made better. Yeah. Who have you served? Who have you made life better for? You know, I ain't talking about putting no money in no collection plate on Sunday. Don't get, I ain't preachers, if any of y'all preachers, don't get mad at me. I'm just saying, a tithe is this. Anytime you make somebody else's life better, that's paying a tithe. Okay, you don't have to wait till Sunday to put something in no plate. You can do it every second, every moment of your life. You can go to church every second, every moment of your life. You don't have to wait till Sunday. Yeah. These churches is filled on Sunday. And the preachers take their money downtown, then they got to go to the white man and say, can I get my money back? I want to do this. I want to do that. Come on, man. So, Tommy, I'm with a group right now, a brother that has runs a program, the Phoenix program of kids that's been kicked out of Chicago public schools. What I do, I'm on that board. I take these kids, because I'm a retired superintendent, okay? And I'm an educator all my life. So, and I'm also a basketball coach. But I tell these kids, you know, the greatest thing you can do, Malcolm X said, education is the passport to the future. But it only belongs to those who prepares for it today. Right. So, you know, if you don't handle CPS, which is designed to fail Black kids, then you still need to get that education. Now, I'm not talking about that you know, that European education. I'm talking about knowing who you are. Because, see, we know what we are, we just don't know who we are.
Yes, sir.
See, and that's what that's my vision, Tommy, and that's what I do. I'm a servant. I'm a worker. So I can be used anyway, anyhow. And I've been there. I've been there, Tommy. I've been at the White House.
Yeah.
I can tell you this story.
Yeah.
I can tell you this story. When I was guarding Richard Nixon during the Vietnam War, I was a Marine. I was at the Pentagon. This colonel came out the room. He said, Sergeant Jackson. He said, you know what's going on in that room in there? He said, these are world-changing things that's going on in that room in there. But you're wasting your time to watch it on the 6 and 10 o'clock news, because the things in there will only be told what they want you to know. What you need to know, you'll never know. And that always stuck with me. And I'm letting you know now, you're wasting your time watching the 6 and 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock news. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Hey, Doc, you told me that.
Don't watch no CNN. You're wasting your time.
Don't tell me that, Doc. Don't tell me that. I've been watching that all my life.
You're wasting your time. Look here, brother. Don't feel alone. You ain't by yourself.
Yeah.
You ain't by yourself. You're just a lost brother, and there's plenty of us can get in line with you. I'm telling you now, man. I'm telling you. I can tell you the stories. I did plenty of Pentagon duty when I was in the D.C. I guarded Richard Nixon for 3 years, from 1970 to 1973. So I played the European game. I got his education. I did his military thing. I did everything, because I joined the Kiwanis Club. I joined every white club I can get, because I want to know more about him. That's like he know about me. Everybody said, damn, man, you in the Lions Club? Yeah, I'm in the Lions Club. Because everything a black person do that he's curious about, he gonna send his spies in.
Oh, yes,
He gonna infiltrate your system, and he gonna destroy it if it's positive. If positive. As long as you ain't doing nothing, you'll live forever.
You're right. Okay, I got to do this. Craig is reacting, and I want Brian to come after Craig, because really the reason I got a lot of y'all together is that something is getting ready to happen in this country. and like, let's see, who said that? It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not get it than to get an opportunity and not be prepared. So I want to go to Craig. You was reacting to Dr. Jackson, then Brian Moore after that. All right.
You know, it is so refreshing.
I knew it.
To hear just straight truth.
Yeah.
It ain't diluted. You know, it ain't no game to it, man. And that's when I know, like I'm telling people right now, the energy that I feel is the same energy that we felt after game 1 in our first championship run, where we knew we was gonna win the next 4 games, but we got to go to practice tomorrow. We got to go out and shoot around the next day. Then we got to go win that game. Then we got to go back to practice. Then we got to go back. We know we got to keep in the moment on our work. And that's the part that Dr. Jackson is dropping that's so cold about, is that at every step in this journey that you got to be conscious of what you're doing it for. And that as you go in, you doing, like he said, we're doing, like I thought of myself when I was hooping, that I was going into the mine, and that I was going in the mine to get all the information and all the resources I could to come back and do what I need to with my folks with it. So it's so cool to hear the stories like the stories of Richard Nixon. And one of the questions I had was, you know, just on some, not frivolous, but you was there during the changing of the gold standard.
Yes, yes, yes.
He sure was.
That's lovely thing, brother.
Okay, Brian. Let me hear from Brian.
I'm just soaking it up, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, Tom, me and you've had plenty of conversations.
Right.
But I think that what's refreshing now is, like, my generation, we don't really depend on CNN no more. We don't really depend on, you know, the news station. And I think that social media has really opened that up. So before you can have some of these news stations come out with fake stories, people are already fact checking, people are already digging into it. And this is why you see this revolution that you see now. I think that for too long, people was able to hide behind so many things. But now it's that change. You can feel that spirit that's in the air. And it's different from the, you know, a lot of people, like you said, as older than us, who really mention, and really those voices now, a lot of voices telling these protesters and things like that to slow down and to stop and to try to, you know, come up with there's a different way. But we see it. We see that within 2 weeks of protests, how many things have changed. I mean, we've got officers arrested. We got Ancient Mama change. We got Ben on a rice change, right? People talking about reparations, you know, and these are conversations we've been having for months.
Yeah.
For months, for years.
Let me tell you, young brother, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right in everything you just said. But let me tell you something. Check the black male unemployment rate. With all this marching, with all this protesting, check the black male unemployment rate. Also, look at the educational system, how our kids are made and programmed to work for someone else, and their kids are made to be supervisors and bosses. Also, I want you to look at, young man, our community, okay? Our community, then look at their community. See, if we're gonna talk about equality, it's gotta start within our own ranks, and we gotta put something together, because as long as we out here protesting, see, we got to have some directions. We gotta have a purpose and direction. See, if your son and daughter, you got kids?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if your sons and daughters gonna live a better life than you, and that's your job. See, everybody on this screen right here, their job was to have a better life than their parents. But in the last educational journal I read, they said this is gonna be the first generation of kids who will not have the life that their parents had. That means your children gonna be living in your basement, okay? And I'm saying what we gotta do is better prepare ours. You know what the Jewish kids do in the Oak Park area where I'm at now in Detroit? I'm gonna tell you what they do. When I get up tomorrow morning, I'm gonna have to run over all kinds of Jews. I stay in a Jewish community up here in Detroit when I'm home, okay? And tomorrow morning, all these little Jewish kids with their parents gonna be going to school. What they gonna be learning? Everything about them. Their history. What is our kids gonna be doing? Watching cartoons or sleeping in, okay? So what we gotta do is we gotta talk about total equality. It's what you're saying is absolutely right, okay? But their schools are still better than ours. Their housing is still better than ours. They got loans better than ours. And when I go to Wall Street, I don't see hardly any of us. And the ones I see, they so lost, they don't even know who they are. Okay? They don't even know who they are. Okay? Until, see, what do you call a black man with $50 million? I'm gonna tell you what that white boy called it, a nigga. Okay? I don't care if he got 50 million. Behind closed doors, that's what he gonna still call it. And you gonna say, oh, that's a successful brother. But if that brother's successful and he ain't doing nothing for his people, he might well be working for the white man. So we got so many brothers that's lost. Man, I'm telling you, we as a people, we have to wake up. We have to see the big picture. Okay, black men, they always say, look at all these brothers getting killed by the police. Oh, call that shit like it is. Brothers are getting killed by white policemen. They're always trying to bring up policemen. I ain't seen a black policeman yet kill one white boy the way they be killing us. But they won't say it on the news. They say, oh, the white policemen, they say the policemen are killing da-da-da-da-da. No, tell it, man. The white policemen are on a hunt.
Yes, sir.
That is to hunt every brother down they can and find a reason to kill him. I have an 82-year-old friend here in Chicago, retired police officer. He said when he was guarding Martin Luther King, when he came to Chicago, he said on a policeman's desk, he saw a KKK pamphlet. And he said to the officer here in Chicago, what is that? He said, hey man, don't say nothing about this, but KKK is recruiting policemen all over this country. We can't kill as many brothers in a row, but if I can get a badge and a blue shirt and find a reason to wipe him out, bam. Now you ask yourself, all these killings of black men by policemen, be careful, because I'm telling you, we're still dealing with a force that's undercover.
I got to get my boy Kenny in here. I know he's got something he wants to say. Go ahead, Kenny.
You know, I'm sitting back just soaking it in like I continue to do throughout my life. You know what I do when I soak it in? I pass it on to the brothers and sisters who's willing to listen. But I have an issue, two issues I gotta say. One of the issues is before we're able to move any further ahead to make any gains, we got to get in there and change the laws. Because without the laws working at least equally for us,
we're not going to be able to
we're
gain
not going to
anything.
be able to gain anything.
And two, I want to make mention
And two, I want to make mention of
whatever we hear on CNN or whatever station. I always say to myself afterwards, what's the rest of the story?
Absolutely.
Sound like Paul Harvey saying that.
Yes.
Hey, Jalen, I'm gonna come to Craig right after that. But Jalen, now you listen to all those grown men. You just graduated high school.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to have you on because I'll be honest. You won. I don't know if Nelson is still with us, but Jalen won the Alpha Phi Alpha Martin Luther King Scholarship Breakfast, and he's a great speaker. But you listening to all this, I've always told you, I felt you're gonna be a future leader. How are you absorbing what you hearing? You got the NBA champion up top of you. You got Dr. Jackson to your left. You got a famous author up there. And you got Kenny Burns, one of my best friends and the best humans I know. And Nelson Mentor. I don't know if Nelson's still with us, but he's the engineer. He's the engineer. Now, talk to these brothers about from a young man's point of view.
Hearing you all of you guys speak really is impacting my mental because it knows that I know I gotta step up and do my part. And I've always felt that way. I moved out to the suburbs when my dad and I lived off and on in Detroit. And so just seeing the difference between the white community and the black community, I always knew that I'm a statistical improbability. I'm a black male. I'm the top of my class in a white community. Mm-hmm. I did the best in my grade. I got the most influence in the school. I started helping fund school activities at 14. Mm. And I just knew that with all this stuff that was following my direction, I knew I had to get back to the community just because God doesn't bless you for nothing. And I'm absolutely convicted of that. Yeah. And just after I started getting my GPA up, I knew that there was other people that needed help. So I started staying at the school. I started going down to Rockford. I started teaching other middle schoolers. I started helping out high schoolers. I think that's how I may have met Mr. Meeks the first time. I was down in Rockford teaching middle schoolers at the school, helping get their stuff in line. I volunteer at the YMCA. It's just seeing that some of these people, some of these kids, they really just need a male model in their lifestyle. Because we have so many brothers walking out that maybe having a big brother figure in their life could be what they need to be successful in school. Mm-hmm. And for me, being that big brother figure is really what I want. I want to become successful so I can help other people be successful and be that same man in other people's lives, because that's really what we need. Mm-hmm. After the 1960s, a lot of black men, the drug trafficking, America was funding stuff in Southern America, recycling drugs back into the black communities, arresting the black males. We had the highest incarceration rates during that time frame, taking the black male out of the household. So that generation grew up without male figures. And what that turned out, it got to this point because of the funding that America did. And that's not a coincidence. That was intentional. Yes. And we have to get to a point where we're having strong males, lead strong males to become strong males in the future generations, and really have that rolling over effect so that we can create a stronger generation after us. And
absolutely. Go ahead. You got something else?
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I can be the first person, or not the first person, but take the first step and get other people involved with that too, that's really what I think my life calling is meant to be.
Well, I think we're in a good position to have you still. I don't know if you're still going to Beloit College. You still plan on going there?
Yeah, as of the time, yes.
Okay, the reason I say that, I'm opening up a building. I told Doc, on Saturday mornings, what them Jews start doing, me and Doc done talked about Saturday morning classes. I want all you brothers, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna try to raise some money. I don't want y'all to do it for free, but I can't pay you $1 million. I want you to think about coming in and helping on Saturday mornings when you have time. Help some of these young brothers learn and sisters to learn about their history, because I think that's the biggest problem. Craig, I'm gonna come back to you. You're not gonna be with us that long. I know you gotta leave town somewhere. But let's hear some more from you.
One of the things I wanted to say was, you know, the brother was talking about a revolution, and then I go back, it brought to mind when Dr. Jackson was talking about CNN and the rest of the mess that they're putting out there. Mm-hmm. I go back to think about how much of the time when we talk about prophecy, being that it was given to us a long time ago, we don't really know how it's actually going to unfold in the real sense. So when we think about, you know, one of our greatest poets, Gil Scott-Heron, said the revolution wouldn't be televised.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you stop and you look at the way this is unfolding, it's unfolding in a way that it wasn't scripted from their mindset, and that it's coming from a spiritual place, and that part of that spiritual place is our deliverance. So we're right on the precipice of it. I can feel it. It's just a matter of us remaining consistent and passionate about it. So when I hear Brother Jalen and seeing where he's taking the baton to, man, it's just a matter of us knowing that the answers are here. It's just a matter of us being in the support base. We who are older now, that we have some information and the fact of being able to be a resource to the younger generation, because they got the energy and passion. I tell people all the time, South Africa, it was the students that got it done, not the old folks like me.
Yes.
Hey, Nelson, are you still with us? Nelson Mitchell, I see your face, but I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm I'm here. I'm also you know, in this world of in this world of multimedia, I'm multitasking, my brother. I'm sorry I got on the line and I didn't even introduce myself because, you know, I know you and I love you, man, because we're both members of the greatest fraternity, you know, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1906.
You got them two Qs up there looking at us. Look at Doc, he's buried his head. Oh, yeah.
Some of my grandkids.
Hey, look at brother. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you this. Now, Tommy will tell you, when I was pledging, my best friend was an Alpha. And I did time in the Marine Corps. So here these cats trying to put me through some stuff. And I had already paid the ultimate being a Vietnam veteran. So I was an old college freshman. Okay. And I told them Qs, y'all ain't gonna stop me from being this guy's friend. Because when we walk in that white man's door looking for a job, he ain't gonna see Alpha, Sigma, Kappa. He gonna see a black man looking for a gig. So when I go out there, I'm not bothered by what church you go to or what pledging you do.
Right.
If you black, we equal.
That's right.
If I can help you, I'm helping you. Okay, I'm not gonna be, because we already divided enough. That's just another way of dividing us. Okay. Anytime a brother like this young brother Jalen, man, I applaud you. But be careful of this. Right. See, white America knows when they run across a brother or a sister that can raise the masses' level of consciousness. So be very mindful that they don't use you or offer you or take you to the side and make you different. So don't you dare forget what you said tonight, because you're gonna be black to the day you die, okay? And white America can't stand to see a brother reach down unconditionally and lift another brother up. Because as long as we can keep that black man out of the family, that woman and them kids is hit, okay? Tupac said a bitch made, but I'm telling you now, they don't raise mothers like me and Tommy and some of us had today, okay? Right. These mothers today, they too busy trying to be their son's friend and their daughter's mother, okay? And it takes a man, that white man know it, it takes a man to raise a boy, okay? He has to be in the household. Remember, on good times, They only made it out of the ghetto when the daddy wasn't in the house no more. Think about it.
Teach.
As long as the daddy was in that house working every day, JJ and them stayed in the project. But when the daddy died and got out of the picture, all of a sudden they can move out of the projects now. That's a message.
Yes,
They try to show you that they don't need the black man. As long as I can keep that black man out the family, they hit, and he know that. So I say to you, when you're doing this for brothers, he gonna watch you.
Absolutely.
And he gonna come at you.
Yeah.
And when he come at you, he gonna offer you all the gold and silver you want, because he don't mind taking a token nigga out the pit. That's as long as the rest of them hold back. So don't forget what you said tonight. And Tommy, I want you to make sure that young brother get all my information.
Same here.
Yeah.
Because I am a retired school superintendent, and whatever I can do educationally to help you out.
You know,
and I don't care what you pledge. I don't care what you pledge. I'm gonna help you like I'm your daddy.
There you go. There you go.
Understand me?
I tell you what, all you guys up there, at some point, you guys are gonna play a part, hopefully, in this building me and my son are opening up. I think it's gonna change the face of African Americans in Rockford. Because me and Doc, we've been talking about this for a long time. Now I got the building, and we're gonna be in there pretty soon. Craig, how much time you got? How much time you got? You good? Okay.
You got about 10 more.
Okay, I want to get you real quick.
Tommy, make sure I get Craig's information.
You're gonna get his
brother. We gotta sit down and break some bread. Okay?
No question about it. No question.
Yeah.
Okay. Craig, I just want you to talk briefly about what was your mindset at when you went to Michael and Scotty. I mean, it's about what your book is about, the long shot.
Right.
You went to them to help inner city people, and they didn't see what you saw, but we see where Chicago is now. How do you think that would have helped had they listened to you back then?
Well, you know, it's similar to what Dr. Jackson was saying. You know, the city is it's a crazy monster, man. It's progressive in ways that you see, and then other ways it's so ass backwards you wouldn't believe. You know, and a lot of the cues, not cue dogs, but a lot of the cues that are taken by athletes and entertainers who are in the city of Chicago are by the powers that be. So a lot of brothers aren't going to operate outside of that potential dollar that they may be able to make. So I was born and raised here, man. And for me, it's imperative in my life that we stand on the truth that we've been taught. And we know the magnitude of the power that we have at any given point in our lives, as far as having studied what we studied, to be able to be mindful of where we're at. And for me to share that information with all my teammates, whether it was Bill Walton when I was with the Clippers or John Paxson when I was with the Bulls, I shared it with everybody across the board. I didn't care if you was white. If I popped in the Minister Farrakhan tape, you're going to watch it. And there wasn't no thing on the plane about it. So it wasn't no thing like, no, Hodge, take that out. No, Johnny Bach, Phil Jackson, Jerry Reinsdorf, they seen that. They seen that on the plane with me. So it became a thing where, well, Hodge is trying to be some type of locker room lawyer. No, man, I'm just enjoying my life, and I'm excited about the knowledge that we receive, because that's more critical than me telling you about, man, this is sister over here you can go hit. And them the type of conversations that brothers are readily available to have who are superstars, but you won't readily tell me how to go about getting that Ferrari you just got for free, but you want me to go purchase it. When tell me the game, man. Tell me, how can you bring us all into this thing? And that's the part where, you know, I was blessed to have Coach Kobe when we were in LA together, Lord rest his soul. And that's one of the things that I loved about him, was that he had a more kind spirit in as far as bringing his teammates along. And he spoke of it in terms of every man has his own level of greatness, and that I can't measure your greatness by mine, but I can do whatever I can to get you to that level that you need to be to feel great about yourself. Because if you're feeling great tonight and I'm feeling great, we're going to get some great things done. And I think it goes a long way, man, in the mindset. And that's the thing that Jalen and other young brother, man, is your mindset going into this thing. So when you talk about the building you got, and having to pay us to come in there. We grew up under a mindset that it was a thing called poor righteous teachers. You know, that we were cool with just getting as much of this knowledge and walk around here. And that's the beauty of growing up in the 60s like we did, man, that we saw love on so many different levels of the community. And it wasn't necessarily like me. I grew up in a household where I never saw my granddaddy say he loved anybody. But it was inferred because we never missed a meal. But on Fridays, when he brought the paycheck home, he was damn near functional drunk on the weekends because he was going to get his drink on. And then on Sunday night, he was laying it down, ready to work the next 5 days through. And we had that type of love. Then we had the grandmama that was going to make sure everything was legit. And we got to get back to that mindset where the organizational hub is our women. And that they give us that organizational, and we take the marching orders as a brick wall of men to go out here and build this new civilization that has to be built. It ain't we can't cherry pick what Band-Aid solutions we're gonna put to this thing called white supremacy racism. It has to be eradicated. And in that eradication process that we're seeing now, we have to be the brothers that's strong enough to build it again and not bitch about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm hearing a lot. That's what I'm hearing a lot in the media is brothers and sisters trying to reason a way of not to work to rebuild a new kingdom of heaven for our people. And that's the part for me where it's in our DNA. It's in our DNA to accept the challenge of building something that is going to stand the test of time. I mean, we're capable, and even it's time. It's not even, to me, once again, like I said, it's fun to me. And when I see a brother like Jalen, I know that those are the rudimentary tools that have to build civilization is that type of knowledge. And that Brother Jackson told him, you cannot allow yourself to be sucked into, I call it their funnel, that it's a funnel of models that they tell us, oh, everybody can fit into this, everybody can fit in it. Now everybody gets into that funnel, and the actual spigot is so small, only two or three of us might fall through, and then they say, see, you can do it. And it's not even reasonable, man. That's why we have to create that model that will make that racist model obsolete to our people.
Hey, Brian, I got to ask you, tell these brothers about the title of your book, just a quick synopsis of it, because when I read Craig's book called Long Shot, I cried. I'm not going to lie. I felt terrible how them guys did you, Craig. But then when I started going to Brian's book, I saw some real answers to problems that a lot of our people don't realize we have in your book called Poison Soil. Just hit them with it a little.
Yeah. Poison Soil is based on this idea that I have that a lot of times we look at the Black community and we judge it. So many people come and say, oh, this community is poison, or it has all of these diseases, but we never look at the soil. And the soil kind of represents the ideology, the thinking that we kind of come out of. And in my book, I kind of start with slavery, and I work my way forward all the way to present, and showing that it's this slave mindset that's been preached to us over and over and over again. And I have this concept that, slavery didn't end, it just transcended. And so you can see it all throughout media, like you was talking about. You can see it in sports. And I constantly give these examples of how, like you said, we're trapped in this game and we don't see it. And so because of that, our communities have not changed much. I mean, we still living in modern day slave plantations. I mean, it's updated a little bit, but if you go and look in Black communities to this day, I mean, it resembles what the same conditions we lived in. And we don't recognize that it's because of that institutional racism, because of all of those negative ideas and belief that's been pushed on us over and over and again. And it's funny, in my book, I dissect the song from Good Times. And I really line by line, I dissect that song and talk about, and not just that song, all those, I mean, Good Times, the Jeffersons, What's Happening, like every single sitcom that exists in Black community has like this hidden messages. And then the ones that was positive, we see ended up getting taken off TV, or they kind of got pushed to the side. But times those sitcoms really are sending us this message that we are inferior, that, you know, we, like you said, the man isn't important, the woman should be strong, like that. In order to make it ahead, you got to have an interracial relationship. In order to do this, all these different ideas being pushed in our head, and that represents the poison soil. And so when you see the Black community today, they're struggling. It's not the tree that we should be blamed. It's the soil that should be blamed.
Yep. Yep.
Well, that's good. Nelson, as an engineer, what do you see us going as far as getting more young African American engineers into your field?
That's interesting. I tell you, I'm really well. I'll be turning 60 this year, and I'll tell you, all through my engineering career, I would look around the meeting room and not see many faces, that look like me and everything, and I'll tell you, I still have hope though that a lot of the outreach that the different engineering groups are doing, like NSBE and others, that they're actually getting to the to the students at the high school level and at the college level, and trying to motivate kids into engineering and scientists. I still from time to time, February actually is engineers is the month, and then there's usually like the third week of February is engineers week, and so I do try at least at that time every year to get to a high school and speak to some students about engineering and science, and I still have hope that it's gonna grow, and get more exciting. There's a lot of high tech things that are always going on, and it's forever changing everything, like the Zoom package and everything that people are using now, as well as WebEx and Skype and some others. But I guess to that, Tommy, I would say it's going to take all of the engineers, to just keep reaching out and keep visiting those students at the grade school and the high school level, and and pushing them toward the engineering career.
Kenny Burns, you ain't said nothing in a while, but I'd love to hear from you because you are really a philosopher.
Well, Tommy, like I said, I'm sitting back here just soaking all this in. But everybody that's here, they have something very positive to say. But what they're saying is a lot of knowledge that we need to carry forth, carry on, and basically do what we need to do. I mean, the older people here now, as we know, we don't have that much longer to live unless God grants us to be 100 or so. And I hope if I get to be 100, at least I got my health. But short of that, we have to pass this on to the younger generation. And Jalen goes to church with me. As soon as I start talking with that brother, I knew he had something going on.
I'm telling you, man.
And I said, I'm going to have to get a hold of him and make sure me and him have some kind of contact.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm watching the news, watch CNN. And it's kind of strange to see that you have the white people now on TV saying, yeah, we've been taking advantage of them for so long and doing this and doing that. And I'm saying, boy, things are changing a little bit. But the thing is this just a pass and play? Are we going to eventually get to the point where they're saying this, but are they going to really mean it?
Well, see, I say this to that, Kenny. I think we at this point, we really can't worry about what they say or what they do. I think a lot of this work we talking about, it's right here. It's all over the world. Dr. Jackson, you introduced me to Coach Herman Boone when your guy from the Remember the Titans, they made the movie about him. And he came here and did a show with me, and we all had dinner. Just talk about the type of person he was. He passed away. And I know you guys were fraternity brothers. But just talk a little bit about him, because he found a way to make things work for him.
listening to the brother Bryant, Coach Boone, one thing he told me when we met in Flint, Michigan, he said, the drum beat in the village is no more. And if we are to survive, we got to get back to the drum beat. And what he was saying was Craig Hodges could have did something in Cape Town. And by the time he got home on California, without no cell phone, without no beeper, without no pager, and some folks didn't even have a phone in their house, the drum beat Craig home because everybody in the community took part in raising every and each individual.
You know, he talks about that in his book too.
The drum beat is silent. And we got all these communication devices now, but you don't even know what your kids are doing. You see, so we got to get the drum beat louder in the village. That movie, the plays you talking about, the shows, TV shows, the village. Think about, I'm 67, okay? Anybody older than me, you know that we came up where your next door neighbor had a right to chastise you or get you right. Even the biggest alcoholics or drug addicts in the community, they knew you had promised they would keep you away from drugs. They would keep you away from liquor. They would say, Jalen, boy, get on away from this bottle. You got promise. I just heard what Kenny said he saw in you. Back then, in the community that we came from, they took part. Hey, man, I didn't have no daddy. My mother had 9 kids, and 7 of us had different daddies. I stayed in the poorest area everywhere I lived. I met my father when I was 52 years old, but I lived in a village that took part in raising me. I couldn't get C's and D's. I had to come home with good grades. Wasn't no 911 and child abuse back in them days. Mother had that extension cord rating for your butt. Braid it up. You ain't gonna bring no C's and D's. She say A's and B's, because she only had a 3rd grade education. And men only took advantage of her because she had a beautiful body. But my mother didn't know how to use this. So all she knew was to get taken advantage of by men. And I love her. She's dead now. But she taught me a lot because this is what she did. She would make us work for people, elderly people in the neighborhood, and take no money. She also said the biggest thing you can do is help somebody else. And she also said, get an education. Don't be like me. Be smart. Hey, man, common sense. She didn't have no PhD. She didn't have no master's, no bachelor. My grandmother died 101. She didn't have no education. But guess what? They had common sense and they lived in a village. We got to get back to the village. We got to get back to raising our own. We got to get back to being, I care for Jalen. I care for Kenny. I care for Nelson. I care for Brian. I got to love y'all like I love myself.
That's right.
I got to care for y'all like I care for myself. I can't look at you like, let me tell you something, man. When I was working on my PhD, it hurt me so bad. I would go into the library at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to do research. I'd look over in the corner, all them Asian kids working together at a table, working together. I look over in another corner, all these Mexican kids working together, getting it done. I look over there, white kids got 2 tables of white kids, putting it together, working together. It'd be about 10, 15 blacks in the library, all of us working on our own, scared to help each other. What you coming over here for? What do you want from me? You see what's happening here? They tell you Asians is real smart. No, they're not smart, they just work hard. We are the smartest thing walking. We are the kings of all kings.
That's right.
We are the beginning and the end. They know who we are. We just don't know who we are.
That's right.
That's right.
Do your research.
That's why they want to
make
keep
you
us
think
down.
Egypt is over there and Africa is over there. Egypt is in Africa. The Garden of Eden is in Africa. The first open heart surgery, Africa. The first university, Timbuktu, Africa. But yet we let that European educate us and don't teach us none of this.
That's right.
Don't teach us nothing. You know why? Because he knows that the oppressor shall never get his foot off the oppressed neck. And the only way the oppressed gonna get the oppressor's foot off his neck is that we have to band together and stay together and stop being so easily bought out.
That's right.
Stop pointing at our brothers and disrespecting our brothers and loving our brothers. Marvin Gaye said it best. Only love will conquer hate.
Yeah.
I gotta love all of y'all like I love myself.
I agree.
That's right. That's right, Doc.
Now, Craig, I don't want to keep you longer than I promised, but you want to stay or you want to finish up, and because we're gonna be here just a little bit longer.
I can finish up and then we got to get rolling, man.
Yeah, I understand.
One of the things for me is, like Dr. Jackson says, is that the energy and output that we have to do right now is so it's critical, and to know the history of it. Like, I feel so blessed to have gone to Long Beach State, studied. My first class at Long Beach State was under Dr. Maulana Karenga, and to get the fire lit under me as far as the research methods. So Black people have become almost similar to when you hooping and you learn, and the more you learn, the more excited you get about finding out something else. And from that standpoint, I think it's the only thing necessary right now to change the direction of our people is to give us our ancient history and how it can impact on what we have to build today, because we were truly the original builders of everything. And we have to, along with, like Brother Mentor said, is that the engineering part of it is in us. So we just have to tap back into almost what we call remembering, to come back together on so many things that have been taken away from us forcibly. And now we're able to freely go and get them and define who we want to become, man. And I think that's the biggest part, is that we have the power to define what we want this thing to look like and not jump into their old paradigm just because of some dollars.
Yeah. But let me say this. There's one brother that's not here tonight, Brother Omar Muhammad. I don't know what happened to him, but I'm looking at all you guys up there. Man, I'm serious. I don't know a whole lot about Rockford, our potential, but I think something's gonna start here in Rockford. Nelson, you left us. Doc, you ain't too far away. Craig, you look like you moved back to Long Beach, huh? I see your address. I say, hey, brother, don't leave me. But honestly, I'm gonna let Craig have the last word, and then we're gonna finish up. But I have total respect for Craig Hodges and what he tried to do, how he sacrificed his whole family, his whole career, speaking up for our people to truth to power. And they used their power on him, but they ain't stopped that brother. They ain't stopped that brother at all.
It's like Dr. Jackson said, that, really those are just stepping stones, man, to get us to where we need to be. And for me, it was one of those things where I was young, man, and I wasn't in a mature mindset to be able to handle the things that I needed to be able to handle at that time, where now I feel like I'm armed and ready, and that, we're blessed to be in this day and time and to be ready to be in the forefront of whatever is necessary to reclaim and reconstruct our history, man. So It's a blessing. I want to thank y'all, and make sure, Tommy, you get everybody's.
I get it all. I'll get it all for you, Craig. Get it to you.
I'm headed down to Atlanta to holler at my hero, Dr. John Carlo. So I'll make sure.
All right. That's my man. All right. That's great. Honestly, we're not NBA champions, but when you see a champion with a spirit like that about our people, you gotta love it. That's why I keep calling him. I know he gets sick of me sometimes.
I'm just honored to be on the call.
But I love this brother, man. He's so nice to me and just responded. Go ahead.
Everybody be peaceful. I appreciate y'all, man. One love.
Keep working, baby.
Right.
Appreciate it.
All
We
right.
don't have no choice,
Craig, take the Lord's
Keep
blessing.
on the course, Craig. Keep on the course.
Yes.
All right. Take care. All right,
Peace,
Craig.
brother.
Okay.
Now, Tommy, I didn't leave Rockford, I escaped.
You escaped. You escaped, brother.
Well, that's better. I got kicked out of Rockford.
as you remember, I was sent there on exile from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And so I was glad. I did my 7 years there in Rockford. And you know better than anybody, for 5 years, I helped, chair that, the scholarship breakfast that we do for the.
You did a damn good job too.
And I really loved doing that, man. I really did. I want to thank you for helping me with that, because as much as the brothers from you off Lambda, had a lot to say. Remember, each year, you put more seats in the building. You sold more tables and everybody. you really was a key, to making all of that successful, man. I really thank you for that. I was glad to be a part of it. I'm really glad now and blessed. Thank the Lord that I'm back home now. And,
I know. But Nelson, what you gave us was real engineering organization. Sometimes Tommy Meeks ain't as organized as he want to be. I think that's been my downfall. But I have a lot of ideas. But you always gave us structure, Doc, what you got?
Sir.
Then I'll come back to Jalen after that.
Well, I tell you what, I just want them brothers to know Rockford kicked me out. I got kicked out of Rockford.
Yes, you did.
Tommy sneaks me in every now and then, because I was too black for Rockford, baby.
You wait till we start these classes. They really gonna be mad I'm sneaking.
Because the black and brown kids in Rockford, man, was just getting tore loose, man.
Yeah.
The system there was designed. The policemen's in the building. Only people they were arresting was the black kids and the Hispanic kids. And when I told them I didn't want policemen in my building, them white folks hit the roof, because they was in there giving white kids high fives and hugs, and all they was doing was waiting for a black kid to do anything wrong so they can take him out in handcuffs and all that crap. And I wasn't having that.
But let me say this. Y'all got to hear this story, because most of y'all don't. Kenny might have heard it. Doc, you got to tell them the story, because you was the principal. And then policemen wanted to arrest 2 of these girls and take them to jail. And you stopped them. And tell them what happened after that.
Well, it was a school dance. I had a school dance at Jefferson High School, and they hadn't had a dance. They had never even had an assembly where all the kids get out at one time. But Coach Boone came and gave them an assembly. And that was the first time the school had actually had an assembly where everybody was out of the room. But this particular night, I gave them a dance, and 2 girls got in a fight. Well, I brought them to my office, and the policeman had them in handcuffs. And I told the policeman, you're not taking these girls to jail because they have moms and dads. Take them handcuffs off them, leave them in my office. So they was pissed because they wanted to take these kids to jail. So we took the handcuffs off the 2 girls, and I said, call your parents. Well, they were a little reluctant. I said, the only way you're getting out of here is call your parents. So when they called their parents, come to find out, them girls was related. The parents knew each other, and they were so happy, and, went their merry way. Nobody got arrested. Nobody went to jail. And actually, the girls made friends. And that's what I'm saying, man. That's how we got to do business. It's got to be a paradigm shift in education. They got to stop these policemen from going up in our schools. That's a sign of education. There ain't no police. This ain't the streets, and it's too many policemen want to take black and brown kids to jail. And I stopped that.
Yeah.
And they didn't want that.
Bravo, good job.
Jalen, up there, you went to Hananiga.
Yeah.
How were you treated in high school? I mean, because it's predominantly all white.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
So what I really noticed is until I really started being better academically, I started dedicating my time after school to helping the school. I started teaching people at the school how to improve their grades. And so I started bettering myself and getting to a point where I was above average. I was treated like I was below average. Up until junior year, I was getting drug searched every year.
See?
I was dedicating time to dropping off donations after school. I was helping out kids after school in Rockford. I was helping out at homeless shelters, and I was getting drug searched.
Boy.
And I was get called down to offices about like who did this fight, who did that, and some of those teachers knew me. I was helping their kids learn English, and what I really started to notice is that it was every single year. Is that when a new black freshman will come in there, that everybody like start looking him up and down like, who are you? And then they treat him like he's acting out. By senior year, he's acting out. And as you start getting into that mindset where people are always going to treat you like you're acting out or drug searching you, then it's like, why not? You already looking at me like I'm an enemy. And what I started realizing is that in order to get to that, you kind of have to learn their language. Because if you talking like you're from Detroit, nobody knows what that is up there. That you say Detroit and they're like, what city is that? Where is that? and so if you don't talk like them, then you kind of put outside. Like it's like you're ostracized for that. And then once you're alone, it's easier to make you act out because you're alone by yourself in a new school. Nobody really has your back. Is what I started doing was every freshman that came into that black freshman that came in there, I told them like, yo, here's my number. We can call anytime. If you're falling behind, I'll help you. I'll sit down in the library and stay after with you. And so for the first half of my junior year, I stayed every day after school. And when a black freshman that he came in, he was getting C's and D's and everything. I knew his mom. I said, if your mom's not gonna make you do it, I'm gonna make you do it. I'll make it because I know where he's at school. And so I went down there and helped him out with his English. And I've been telling them, like, we really need to get a black club at our school going to help all these kids coming. Because Hananiga doesn't really do anything for that. We have about 20 black kids. I'm the only one in honors class.
Wow.
I'm the only one in AP classes.
Yes.
I'm the only one that has A's and B's. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, this is crazy. And so what I started doing was I went to the school board. I had a conversation every time. And I eventually we got to a point where I was in a position to create a black club, and then coronavirus hit. Yeah. And so thankfully, I talked to some of those people last year, the people that were coming up, and I'm going to talk to them about getting the club started there again. But I've done so many things at that school, but knowing that I'm helping somebody like me that potentially would not have the same start that I had, get to a position where they can become successful, that means everything, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian, you working in Beloit now? Are you teaching or you're principal up there or what?
No, I'm teaching up there in Beloit.
Okay, Jalen's probably gonna go to Beloit College. Maybe you can work off campus some kind of way, help some of those kids at Beloit. Is that Purple Knights you at?
Yeah, the Knights. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
you guys. Okay. All right. Okay, Kenny, what you got? You got anything over there?
Well, you know, I've always got something to chirp in on. But, you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, we're gonna have to do something. We got to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yes.
And I don't have all the answer, brothers. That's why we kind of holding this discussion right now.
Yes.
We got to take advantage of this because who knows when it's gonna come around again? Because you know, every time something like this happens, you know, the white man builds it up and gets stronger and stronger to try to stop us. But we have to find a way, like everybody's been saying, we got to learn to work together.
Yeah.
And working together, we'll be able to conquer any and every obstacle that we come up against. And Doc, I tell you, you're so inspiring when I talk with you. I always leave kind of amazed that, man, I learned something else at my age.
You know what? To the young people that's listening, Brian and Jalen, and I'll say this to you all. What I love about this movement is that back when our leaders, the Kings and the Meggers and the Martins and the Malcolms, when they led, they were easily assassinated. So anytime you are a man or a woman that has the power to lift people's level of consciousness high and make folks do things that's frightening to white America. So they assassinate them or they ostracize them. And you can go back all the way to Marcus Garvey. You can go back to Nat Turner. You can go back to the brother that first one that died in the Revolutionary War. You can go all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a leader, the system take you out. What I like about this movement now, they don't know who to attack.
They don't know who it is.
They don't know who to shoot. They don't know who to kill because it's white, it's Asians, it's Hispanic, it's black, and it's strong. And I love what I'm seeing because white America is scaring the hell out of them because they don't know who to pick out. Mm-hmm. Normally, when we go off, they send in Jesse. They send in Jesse and Al Sharpton to calm things down. But you know what, brothers, young brothers, I'm so glad to see what I'm seeing. And Kenny is right. We got this opportunity. We got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
We got to continue. We got to continue to move. I can't walk it as far as some of you cats. I can't march as up, and I don't want to get hit in the head by nobody. But however I can be used in the struggle, I'm here for you. But I love the young movement. I love the young movement. And you, Jalen, keep pushing for that educational piece because as I walk through the schools now, I'm an educational consultant. When I go in these schools, I tell people, why do you have such a racist, separated, segregated school? And the white folks look at me like, Dr. Jackson, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean what I mean? I said, this school is segregated. They said, no, it's integrated. I said, okay, come with me. I go take them down to the math department, the math wing, the algebra, the calculus, all white folks. Across the hall, troubleshooting math, low math, full with black kids. Take them to the English lit, all white. You see what I'm saying? And so when I show them that, then I take them to the special ed department. Lights not working, dingy hallway, mop pails in the hall. I said, you showing these special ed kids they don't count. They said, what do you mean? I said, look at the walls, look at the lighting. I said, these kids are down in the hallway that don't nobody even come down. These kids might be special, but they got feelings. They see that their rooms and their walls don't look like everybody else's in the school. You see what I'm saying? So I have to continue to enlighten educators because they run a system designed only for a certain few to make it. Yeah. And it's very few of us that's a part of that. Yeah. And so that's what I have to do. I change culture and mindset because when I go in these buildings, that's what I do. I show them their errors. I show them, when I went to Rockford, they was having problems. They called me, I was in Kentucky, walking to school in Kentucky. When I went to Rockford, they asked me, because Jefferson High School was out of control. Fights, all kind of stuff, all the time. So they asked me to change the mindset and the culture. So what I did was I sit all the principals and assistant principals and the counselors down, and I said, you guys are all magicians today. I said, I want you to write down 3 kids that you wish that you could just wave a magic wand and they didn't exist no more. I said, but you can't share them on these cards. So all the principals and the assistant principals and the counselors, they wrote their 3 people names, their kids' names, because I didn't know the kids. They wrote them down, and I had my secretary calculate them and put them up into 12. Some kids was on everybody's list. Okay? Some kids made everybody's list. So I told the counselors and the assistant principal, this is your principal's advisory board. They said, well, what about the National Honor Society student? I said, I don't worry about the National Honor Society student, but these kids here, they are leaders, but have never been taught how to lead. They lead in a negative way because they lead themselves. They need to be taught Robert's Rules of Order. They need to be taught the proper way to lead. And when I made those kids at Jefferson, the principal's advisory board, the whole climate of the school changed. Because where one kid was leading 20 other boys in a negative way, all of them 20 turned positive. Everybody started focusing in on an education. And when they kicked me out of Jefferson High School, the kids led by white kids walked out and they had to call me back to get all the kids back in the room because it was chaos. Tommy, let me tell you, all the kids walked out of the school. It was all on TV because they took me out of the building.
Yeah.
Then they had to call me back.
Well, I tell you, that was a sad day for Rockford. They don't really realize it, but they put you out because they feared what you were going to offer, not just to Jefferson. I think you was creating a mindset on how we, as Black leaders in the schools, was going to change some of our kids' thinking.
Yes.
Brian, let me ask you. Now, you heard what he said about making those, the hard, the toughest kids on the advisory board. How you think something like that would fly up there at Beloit? Because y'all have a lot of trouble up there.
Yeah. I mean, it goes into the mindset of the teachers. I mean, it's exactly what you're talking about. We already, you know, I was actually involved in some culturally responsive teaching and some work up there with equity and doing some professional development for teachers as well. But the biggest issue is getting teachers to see these students as who they are and that they're leaders. And a lot of times they've already counted these students already out. They find a student, like Dr. Jackson said, and just they're like, well, this student needs to go, or you know, he's paying to the class, and they haven't really gotten to know that student. I had a student this year who was on probation, had a probation officer come in twice a week to check in on him, and but he was one of the smartest boys in my classroom. And I recommended him for next year for honors classes, and the counselor called me personally and said, "Are you sure? Did you make a mistake?" And I was like, "No." I was like, he got an A in my classroom. It was like, well, you know, what about, I was like, all of the times that he was missing school, I'm like, well, it's because of, you know, probationary stuff, but it has nothing to do with his intelligence.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, she took that advice, but you know, how many people are like that? It's the same thing. We have a lot of our honors classes, our AP classes are filled with white students, and a lot of our Black students who are intelligent are a lot of times skipped over because of attitude and behavior, and those type of excuses, but not necessarily intelligence.
See, as school administrators cannot be afraid to get on the cutting edge. See, I wasn't afraid to get on the cutting edge. See, my job is to make sure that each one of those kids be treated just like they were my own child. As a principal, every kid was my kid. So when a teacher would bring a kid into my office and say, I don't ever want him in my class again, and I don't ever want to see him again, I said, well, today, this is your child. Would you want me to do that to your child? And she would look at me, and he would look at me and say, no, I wouldn't want my own kid. I said, well, then we can't do it to this kid. We got to find another way to resolve this problem, okay? Part of my dissertation work is improving the employability of African-American males. What I do is I don't kick kids out of school. Because when you kick a kid out of school, first of all, their parents don't know how to do the day's homework, so that kid is falling further behind. Number two, the juvenile crime rate goes up because he's walking the street. Number three, the teenage pregnancy rate goes up because now you got a boy and a girl out there, both of them loose. So the key is to keep them in the building. The key is to keep them educated. Kids are not satisfied with school. Schools are doing a lousy job of failing kids. Kids are not failing schools. Schools are failing kids. Okay? And that's what they need to change. It's almost just like police work. The policemen right now got a bad record. Everybody saying, oh, these cops are terrible. No, it's just the bad policemen are speaking louder than the good policemen. And right know, folks don't have faith in our educational system because the bad teachers are speaking louder than the good teachers. See, the good teachers know who the bad teachers are in that building, but they don't try to get rid of them. And as a principal and an administrator, by the time you go through that evaluation process, oh man, that principal gone. And then that teacher's right there starting all over because that teacher union is a powerful union.
It is.
They protect a lot of bad teachers.
I want to do this. Today was Juneteenth. And Nelson, you know, I met you at I don't think it was a Juneteenth celebration. It was something else. But I've been doing Juneteenth for 30 years this year. And this is the strangest Juneteenth I have ever seen. I'm telling y'all the truth.
What did you do for
What
Juneteenth?
happened, Tommy? Talk to me. Talk to me. What happened?
Well, the mayor came to me in April and told me, he said, Tommy, I'm pretty sure the governor is not going to allow us to gather even in June.
Wow.
So you probably going to have to cancel your gathering. So I figured out I was going to do a TV show and have some of the local people on. And that's what I did. And this is the second part of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of disappointed in some of the people that I talked to pipe in to hear you brothers. But I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to get you guys to do some more stuff for me, because this building I'm opening up, it's really not for me. It's for these young kids that don't realize all the things that we realize, that they got to believe in themselves. They got to know that if they want their life to change, they're gonna have to do it. And they're gonna have to take advantage of all the help that could come their way. Now, I know, Nelson, you in St. Louis, so I may not be able to get you back up here. But Brian, you're not too far. Jalen, you're not too far. Kenny?
Well, you know, Tommy, I'm only a phone call away. So I mean, and,
I know that. And I'm gonna tell you, I would bring. I'm telling you,
let me know. I hop on the road. Come on up.
I would bring you up because I want those engineers to see somebody like you, because you can bring in future engineers. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I've been getting a lot of phone calls from my white friends. Y'all know I got a lot of white friends. And some of them is feeling guilty. Some of them that sent me money that I didn't expect I was gonna get. But how do y'all feel about taking advantage of this moment of people? I tell you that, I even got a call from San Diego, California. They looked at my website. They looked at some of the things I've been trying to do. Now they want me to virtually speak to them, to their people at their job. Now, I don't know what I can say, but I'm gonna do it just to see if I can make some of those people think a little differently. Because y'all all know some of these people are thinking differently today than they thought a month ago.
Yeah.
Anybody agree with me?
I agree, Tommy.
Yeah. So we need to take advantage of these people that know they have been doing our people wrong. And a lot of our own people have been doing each other wrong because of our mindset. That's where this building comes in at. We have to change the way our people think. I'm gonna say this. Our chief of police came out and said, these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, they are lost cause. We're done with it. We want to go out and help the 7, 8, and 9-year-old kids. Well, I said, well, who in the hell he think them kids looking up to? They uncles, they next door neighbors, they brothers, they cousins. If you don't help those guys up there, and I think he knows this, he's just bringing another trap for those young kids that will follow the ones they love, opposed to guys like us sometimes that's trying to tell them right. And I think it's gonna be up to us to convince them that you can love your brother, your uncle, your cousin, but you don't have to go to prison because they went there. And I really believe we can make a difference.
Tommy, I want to tell you, man.
Go ahead.
I want to say to you, Tommy, 30 years, man, and you told me about your grandfather, You told me about Juneteenth and you carrying that torch. And I'm just gonna say this, man. The time I was in Rockford, I saw you work tirelessly to make that event a special day. Sometimes you had very little help, but I want to commend you. I want to take this moment to commend you, Tommy, because sometimes it ain't easy to run a race by yourself.
You should have
Sometimes when you're running by yourself, it's easy to quit. But Tommy, man, I applaud you, bro.
Well, I thank you, brother. All right. I tell you what, I had you guys here long enough, but step into my picture. This guy right here, this is my tech guy. He's my grandson's father.
Okay.
And, you know, he's teaching me a lot of stuff about technology. It's going to take me forever to really learn. But I want to do more of this kind of stuff. And I want us to really reach out and try to help more people to do the things that all of us, everybody up on that screen is successful.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I just want us to help more people be successful like we were. All right, Nelson, is that a beer you drinking?
I'm raising a glass to Tommy. I want to echo Brother Jackson.
Yes.
Say, you know, we ought to raise a glass to my brother
Yes.
Tommy.
Yeah, I got mine.
Rockford,
I got mine.
30 years. Oh, everybody keep the glass. Thank you, my brother Tommy. You know you're wonderful, my man. Keep moving Rockford forward. And here's to you, my brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
that ain't no pop, is it, Tommy? That ain't no pop.
This is ginger root. This is ginger root.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Since I started drinking ginger root, I done lost 40 pounds.
That's what I'm talking about. And y'all listen to that. Get that ginger root.
So that's where I picked up that extra weight from. I thought I knew something was going on.
Don't drink no pops. Get that ginger root and lemon and honey. You good.
That's right.
All right, brothers.
I love you, Tommy. Keep up the good work.
I'm gonna be in touch with each and every one of y'all. I'm gonna pass y'all information to Craig Hodges because he wants it. He's gonna be doing some special stuff starting in Atlanta. He said he didn't want to say it tonight, but I think him and John Carlos, the Olympic medalist from, was it 69, 68 Olympics?
68.
68 Olympics. I think him and John Carlos is working on something that could help a lot of people. And I think our relationship with Craig is going to really help us in this area because he moved to Long Beach, but he still comes back to Chicago and I still talk to him. But I want you guys to know, to me, y'all just as important as Craig Hodges is. Every one of y'all. Nelson, you are the best engineer I know. Yes. Brian, your book, A Poison Soil, opened up my eyes. And you as an intellectual thinker has done even more. Kenny, I couldn't have a better friend. I got frat brothers all over the world. I couldn't have a better brother than Kenny Burns.
Yes.
Dr. Jackson, I'm telling you, you showed me so much of how a man should treat another man and how a principal should treat his students. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. You just showed me so much. And Jalen, I tell people right now, you're the smartest young man I ever met, at least so far. But I tell you what, I got 2 grandsons. They creeping behind you. One of them is 13. One of them is 13 and looking at Stanford. And this guy's grandson, I'm telling you, he is right behind the 13-year-old and he's only 3 years old.
All right, Tommy.
So look here. We're going to do this again occasionally. And when I get my building open up, I want to sit down with each and every one of y'all to see how y'all can help me to make Saturday mornings, like you said, I think it was you, Doc, they sent home watching cartoons. Saturday mornings, we're going to get our kids out of the house. We're going to teach them. We're going to train them. And we're going to wake them up. And then we're going to send them out to get other kids that we could train and teach and wake them up. We're going to change Rockford.
All right, my brother, I'm in.
Amen.
I'm in, Tom.
All right, brothers. Thank y'all so much.
All right, bro.
Wait a minute.
Good night to everyone.
Kenny.
Oh, and a happy Father's Day to everybody coming up through tomorrow.
Yes.
Probably except you, Jalen, but happy Father's Day to my brothers.
Hold on. Kenny got one thing to say. Go ahead.
His mic is off.
Your mic off. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I want to tell everybody, whatever you do, make sure you tell these young kids they got to get out and vote. Get them in the habit while they're young, so when they grow old, that habit will continue on. Peace and love, brothers.
All right, brothers. I'll be in touch with all y'all. Now, Jalen, you're going to be on the show Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm going to have you on the show. Your speech is going to be Wednesday. Brian, did you get a chance to see the show at all?
Yeah.
You did a great job, brother. I'm telling you, I'm really proud of you and Omar and Rhonda. Y'all was a lot better than Rhonda. I hate to say it, but y'all was on point, man. Y'all really were. And Dr. Jackson, you know, I got to call you. I just been working hard this week with this man right here to put on that 2.5-hour TV show. And I said I saved you for this, but we got to get you back up here again, brother.
Tommy, reparation now, reparation forever.
All right.
Just remember that. Hey, Kenny, this is my biggest dream. Can you hear me? I hear you. Okay, my biggest dream is for Black folks to say one day, if a Republican want my vote or if a Democrat want my vote, give me reparation now, give me reparation forever, and you got my vote.
Got your
now,
vote.
You hear me? Because we are the only race of people that have not gotten our reparation.
Yeah.
Okay? Every other race of people that went through close to what we went through, they got reparation.
They sure did.
We need to start battling our battle cry, reparation now, reparation forever.
I'm with you on that, bro.
No Black kid should be paying to go to college in this country.
Yeah.
No Black kid. Okay?
We shouldn't have to pay no taxes for about 20 years.
Absolutely.
Well,
reparation now, reparation forever.
All right.
When somebody's paying $500,000 just to get their
You off. You off.
Yeah, you're muted right now.
You're muted. You're muted.
Because of the feedback. So anytime you're going to talk, just unmute it.
Okay.
Now, I was just saying,
that is
you
got people paying $500,000, send their kids to a school where they ain't going to get education.
They just going to party.
All right. Okay, brothers.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him, Tommy. I didn't hear him.
Say it again, Kenny.
Doctor, I was saying that is something
because you got people paying $500,000 to send their kids to school to party, and they ain't even thinking about no education.
No, that's true. That's true, and that's sad, but it's true. Yeah. But we still got to fight for reparation. You know, we still got to fight for what's ours. You know, and you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You know, there's some kids with tons of talent. You know, a coach might see a kid that got special talent, and that coach just dreamed for that kid to go on to college, and that kid look at that coach and say, man, I don't want nothing out of life. And you know that kid got tons of promise. You can lead him to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, but at least open the door for him, and so he can't say, nobody get an opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, we all got friends that went to college. Some of us were successful, some of us wasn't.
Yeah, that was Les Brown that said that earlier, that I said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not get it than to get an opportunity and not be prepared. All right?
Absolutely, Tom.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to see you, brothers. Thank you very much. And I'll be in touch with each and every one of y'all. Thanks a lot.
Tom. Take
All
care.
right, brother. Take care. All right.